The late psychoanalyst James Grodstein had suggested at the time that a borderline patient is a failed narcissist. The child attempts to develop narcissism as a defense against abuse and trauma in early childhood, and if the child fails for a variety of reasons, the child remains stuck at the borderline phase. Grodstein was a giant in the study of borderline personality disorder. He was the one, and if the child fails for a variety of reasons, the child remains stuck at the borderline phase. Rather than merely suggest that the borderline is a failed narcissist, I'm going to propose that borderline personality disorder is a mirror of narcissism, the exact opposite of narcissism. The borderline is the narcissist's mirror. It is important to realize that the narcissist is bothered by your presence, and the borderline is bothered by your absence. The borderline finds your absence menacing. While the borderline has extreme separation insecurity, abandonment anxiety, the narcissist is far more concerned with managing and controlling his intimate partner in order to accomplish separation. So both of them, the borderline and the narcissist, try to dissolve you. The borderline, in your absence, is half a human being. She is therefore incapable of discerning external objects and interacting with them. You have never been in the narcissist's life, only your representation in his mind, only your avatar. He tries to get rid of all these things by rendering you frozen, a stalactite, a fossil. So this is the narcissist's solution. He penalizes you for any deviation and any divergence from the snapshot. This is how the process of devaluation starts, actually. The borderline has a totally different solution. The borderline tries to merge with you. She tries to fuse with you. This is her way of securing your presence in her life. If you become a single two-headed organism, you can never separate. This is how she solves her separation insecurity, aka abandonment anxiety. Not only does she merge with you, not only does she become one with you in her mind, but she outsources to you all the critical psychological needs and functions. So you become an extension of her mind, and gradually you become a substitute to her mind. She outsources her mind to you. From that point onwards, you are supposed to regulate her emotions for her, stabilize her labile moods, offer her reality testing, participate in her cognitions, or even generate her cognitions. You are subsumed inside her skull, in her mind. Let us recap. The narcissist is terrified of your presence. He resents your autonomy and agency and independence. He doesn't want you to exist. He wants to separate from you at some stage. So he tries to put you down, so to speak, by converting you into a symbolic, iconic, avataric representation in his mind. That's his solution. The borderline is terrified of exactly the opposite. She is afraid that you will abandon her, reject her, disappear on her. And so what she does, she becomes one with you. She takes over you. It's a kind of hostile takeover. She's all over you. She wouldn't let you have a minute to yourself. She constantly monitors and supervises and spies on you. She has persecutory delusions. She's a bit paranoid. She is romantically jealous, insanely so. And all these are mechanisms of controlling you, assimilating you, and thereby rendering you inseparate from her. And this is the core issue. Both the narcissist and the borderline do not recognize your separateness. not only they don't recognize it, but they want to vitiate it. They want to negate it. They don't want you to be separate from them. The narcissist wants you to become an internal object inside his demented mind. The borderline wants you to disappear into her in a kind of cosmic, erotic, sexual act. So, and no wonder borderlines are highly focused on sexuality as an instrument of intimacy and merger with their intimate partner. So, these are the diametrically opposed solutions of the narcissist and the borderline in terms of managing intimate relationships and intimacy. And this is the first example of the borderline being the mirror image of the narcissist. The narcissist denies your existence and separateness as an external object. The borderline simply accepts your externality and merges with it. She becomes the external object. The narcissist converts the external object into an internal one. The borderline converts her internal world into the external object that is her intimate partner. Both of them, the narcissist and the psychopath, need to devalue and discard you. The relationship dynamics is very similar. They both need at some point to reduce you, to diminish you, to demean you, to reject and humiliate you, and then to get rid of you. The narcissist does this because he has a very strong need to reenact his early childhood. The narcissist had failed to separate from his mother of origin, his original biological mother. He had failed to separate from the primary caregiver, from the primary object, and therefore he couldn't become an individual. The narcissism, pathological narcissism, is a failure in separation, individuation from a mother figure. The narcissist converts you, his intimate partner, into a mother figure and then is compelled to separate from you. To do this, he needs to devalue you, to have a good reason why to separate from you. And only then does he feel in control, empowered, and on his way to becoming an individual. This is the narcissist. These are the narcissist's reasons for devaluing and discarding you. The borderline does the same. She devalues and discards, but she does this for a totally different reason. She does it because of engulfment anxiety. The more she merges with you, the more she fuses with you, the more she becomes one with you, the more she hands over internal psychological functions and needs to you, the more she expects you to cater to her internal landscape, stabilize it, ameliorate it, mitigate it, regulate it. The more, in other words, she becomes dependent on you, the more she feels enmeshed and engulfed, the more she feels as if she were disappearing, which is exactly what is happening, by the way. So this engulfment anxiety, this enmeshment anxiety, pushes her to devalue you and discard you. But there's an important distinction here. The narcissist devalue and discard are one-time events. In other words, they constitute the absolute end of a phase in the relationship. Henceforth, the narcissist will be looking for another intimate partner. He may come back to you and try to hoover you because he has a residual snapshot of you in his mind. He may try to re-idealize you and reanimate the relationship or re-establish the relationship. But he could equally as well go on with his life and never come back to you as an intimate partner. This is not the case with the borderline.